All right, welcome back to Way of the Wrench. And yeah, I am filming this at the end of Movember, hence the cheesy mustache. But I do want to thank you guys all for supporting my Movember cause to fight cancer. We absolutely blew our goal out of the water this year with $8,234 total going towards cancer research. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys can support me again next year because I'm going to raise the goal again. Now, last week I put out a video about these super cool gifs on our matrices in Pinup Hopper as well as in-game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a link above so you can go watch how to do that. However, in that video, I also explained how the DOF initialization times were taking absolutely forever, like upwards of 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, if you have every single playlist and table put into your Pinup Hopper file. So I did not want to take this off. It's just way too cool, so I had to find a way for you guys to be able to speed this up. Now, it's a bit above my pay grade, so I had to try to find some people. I put some feelers out there, got some contacts back. Nobody really had any answers for me. However, there was one guy that I worked with, and his name is Vroonsh. So Vroonsh has been a game developer for like 35 years, and he's been in the VPN community since about 2020 when he built his cab. And he's had his hands in all kinds of stuff. He's been helping Arnaud's quite a bit with his MX Donnie, Teensy cab, Dude's cab configurations, tiny tools. So a lot of stuff for Arnaud. He's also been working on some direct output framework stuff. And so he was the guy to solve this issue. So I basically said to him, here's the problem. When it loads up into Pinup Hopper, it takes like a minute, minute and a half, depending on what you got, for DOF to start. And that kind of sucks. And when we get into a game and kick back out into Pinup Hopper, it does the same amount of time. And if you jump into a game too early, sometimes DOF freezes. So I gave that info to him, and I said, there's got to be some way that we can have kind of like a temporary save file or a cache or something that maybe takes the first initial time, takes a long time to load up, and then when you come back into Pinup Hopper out of a game, it just comes back quicker. So I didn't know what he was going to do, but he came back with a whole bunch of things. So let's talk about that. All right, so the two main things that Vroonsh did is he made it so that DOF will ignore lines in the generated files that are parsing unless it's for a specific ROM name. Now, the other thing he did is he created raw image cache files so that after the very first initial time you load up Pinup Hopper, which will still be the same amount of time after you do the installer, but every time you kick out of a game and the next time you load up Pinup Hopper, it will be way faster because it's avoiding the slow read decompressions because it has those raw image cache files to grab from. So he also said there could be some other improvements, and he has submitted all of this to get into the next version of DOF when it gets released. So for now, you just have to use the link down below in the video description to download his installers and then give it a try and see if you like it. And then, like I said, it'll be in a final version of DOF down the road. All right, so the very first thing I would recommend just to make sure you don't have any issues here is you go to your C drive, and I would right-click and copy your direct output drive and put it in some kind of backup folder just in case something happens. You can always revert back. So after you've done that, what you're going to need to do is download the installers from the link in the video description down below. So for me, that's right here. And then all you have to do is double left click on this for the 32-bit. It's going to say next. You're not going to change anything. It should still be C drive direct output. Click install. Okay, that's that. Press finish. That one's done, and then just simply run the 64-bit as well. Double left click. Next. Make sure that's the same. Next. Install. And finish. And that is all you have to do for right now. So remember, this is just kind of like a custom DOF setup. This is not going to be officially put into DOF until the next version comes out. Now, one other thing he's added is if we go to our C drive, direct outputs, and our config folder, we are going to look for our global config. Open this up. Vroonsh has also added another line that we can add in here to turn the fast initialization of DOF on or off. And so all you got to do is add this. Okay, once you've added this line in here, you can turn it on by making sure it says true, or you can turn this off to see actually how much faster it is by putting in false. So for right now, I want to put it to false, and we'll time how much that is. Okay, and if you make a change in here, make sure you save it. Okay, and now let's time how long it takes for my speakers to start twinkling, which is when my DOF turns on. All right, so remember, right now I have every single table and playlist set up in Pinup Popper here, so this is kind of like the maximum time it would be, and this is with it off. And I will be speeding this up in the video and kind of speed up the time so you guys can see what it is. Okay, that is 52 seconds to get to that point. That's a long time. So let's go switch that back to true and see how fast it actually is now. So we open up the global config again, and now we're going to turn this on by putting true. Make sure you save it. And let's see how fast this bad boy is going to be now. Okay, let's open it up with the settings on true and see how much faster this is going to be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds. That is so much faster. That's pretty sick. Sweet. All right, let's talk about some other little things just so that you're aware of it. And if you're having some delays and it isn't 9 seconds for you, it should be. So if it isn't, let's take a look at some things that it could be. Okay, so if yours isn't 9 seconds, but it's about 14 or 15 seconds, Vroonsh actually found a 5-second delay just due to a spelling error in the direct output config 30 file, which is coming from whoever originally put in all of the codes for all the lights for all the different tables. There's a spelling error, and here it is. There's actually 2 of them. So if you open up your direct output config 30, and this is where all the code is for all of the tables, and you can see this would be crazy to find a spelling error in here. So what you're going to do is go edit, find, and this is what you're going to type in, medium. So it's a misspelled medium. I think it's medium violet or something like that for a color. And there's 2 instances. So all you do is you click the down arrow to search down, and once it finds it, in the file, change it by taking out the O to spell medium properly, and then click down again and find the second instance, change it, and then that should be the only ones. But those 2 errors were causing it to pause because it didn't know what that meant, and it was adding 5 seconds. So take a look at that. And if anybody knows how to go into the VPU config where that would be, or I guess this would be in the initial spreadsheet as well, those 2 errors need to be fixed up. Okay, so that's one to get 5 seconds knocked off on your time. And then the other thing that we noticed on mine, because everyone was seeming to get around 9 seconds, but I was still upwards of like 20, 25 seconds, roughly 4 to 5 times longer than everyone else's. So what I had to do is go to my VPU config tool, log yourself in. Okay, go down to your port assignments, do the pull down and collect your WS2811 device. And when I went and did my original matrix setup, I also used the CSD generator, cabinet file generator, and it was saying that I need to have 6 outputs for my matrix, and each output is responsible for each panel, so there would be less refresh rates. However, when you put it into your VPU config tool, where ports 1 through 3 is for the one panel, and then 4 through 6 would be the second panel, and so on, I had all of these filled up with matrix. And it's not required. What it was doing for the new DOF is every single panel was its own separate output, and it was putting out all that code that you needed for the gifs 6 times, so it was adding a lot more. So all I had to do is go into VPU config, basically just take this matrix off and go up to the blank spot up here so that now these were all blank. Okay, make note of where we're starting on 19. So I had to make that change, and when I did that, I had to update it, generate config, and then once those files are downloaded, put that into your config folder on C drive direct output config folder, and it'll ask you to overwrite the 5. We've done that a bunch of times in videos, so go ahead and do that. And then in the cabinet file, so in your C drive direct output config file, you're going to look for your cabinet file, this guy here. And this can all stay the same. Also, if you want to cut a couple seconds out, you can also set your test on control for your Wemos to false. That'll save that time and it'll go into DAW faster. And then what I had to do, so this matrix is still good as well. It's already telling you all the LEDs and everything it needs to know. But when you get down to the output side here, you can see there's my matrix there, and it's on output number 1. I had to delete all the other output 4, output 7, all of those other outputs in here up to where I have my right side playfield. So just get rid of those. Make sure you don't insert any extra spaces or anything like that. So it's just this one output number for 1 for the matrix. And once I did that, that literally reduced my DOF initialization times by like 5 times. So that might be something that you did, especially if you followed my way of setting up the matrix or if you use the CSD cabinet file generator. Okay, and then if you do make some changes in either of these, save them on the way out. All right, that's a wrap on another video from Way of the Wrench, and hopefully you are as excited as I am about getting these custom GIFs put into Pinup Popper for all our tables, and the faster DOF initialization times thanks to Vroonsh. And I didn't mention this yet, but apparently the DOF will actually load faster even if you don't have the LED effects because of the parsing for the specified ROM name. So in the comment section below, put it down below and let me know how much faster your DOF turns on for you guys. If you haven't already, check out the link down in the video description below. I want you to take a look at that Facebook group. I believe it's Virtual Pinball Custom LED Effects group. These are the guys that are designing all these. And if you would like to start learning how to do that and start making this for the community, that would be much appreciated. We need more of this stuff. Special thank you to Vroonsh. I could not have done this without you. This is all you. You are a rock star for the VPin community, and I can't wait to see what else you're going to be doing in the future. And hint, hint, I've got another idea for something cool too. If you have any questions, put them down below and I'll try to help you out as much as possible. And if you haven't already, why don't you join us on Instagram? That way you can check out what's going on in the shop in between videos. Until next time, take it easy.